If we walk past Enterprise, we like.
Trav,
Give
here.
us some hints.
Here.
I'm not, you're doing
Hey
it.
guys, I'm running home. I have to go home. I'll be back. I have to get my running clothes for the race. I'll be back.
Tight shorts.
Yes, I am.
Tight shorts.
Yeah. I'm gonna be up there. Just keep vlogging. All right.
Don't leave me. Travis, can you do me a favor and check real quick?
Check what?
My backpack to make sure I put Marshall in there.
Yes. I'm gonna be up here with you. Sounds good?
I'm pretty sure I want to go. You guys just walk. There's no behind the scenes, right? There's no. I just needed to know if I run to go use the restroom, I gotta find you guys.
We're going to be straight back. I've never had that on video.
You want to take it?
Do you need to go to the bathroom?
Well, I wanted to go before, but I was watching your equipment.
Okay, go ahead. All right, real quick. Use the gender neutral.
Okay. There are things I can and can't talk about, only because we're not ready to make everything announced for next season. He hinted a little bit about 2019, and if y'all really paid attention, he told you where it's going. We've talked about that area before, if you've been on my tours. For those that don't know, I started working here at the park in 1986. First season during the State Fair, in games. I have come back full circle, back to games, beginning of August. I left operations and went from rides to games. So, I know what I can and can't talk about still. A little bit of the history of the park. Where you're standing at right now was one of our rides, attraction that we had here. It was our Slingshot. Slingshot left us and went to Six Flags New England, where it is still at. Six Flags New England has inherited 3 of our rides.
Yeah.
Slingshot, Flashback, which was Vampire,
And your baby.
Gotham City Gauntlet, which was Roadrunner.
Yeah, Roadrunner.
Has acquired 3 of our rides. We're gonna head this way. Eventually, you'll utilize where that fence is in 2019 to go back that way. Skycatcher was put there as the port.
Mom's taking it over.
What?
Get up front.
Shut up, John Mark. John Mark.
John Mark.
I know it, John Mark.
Here.
How much
For those that have ridden the wheel, if you look on the other side of the water park, it's all that land, gravel, grass, goes all the way through to the hotel. That's expansion. That's ours whenever we want.
What? What?
That's the pool park.
Okay.
Do you have to just work out a deal with the state fair and the state of Kentucky?
Well,
Expansion?
no. That's already been worked into the contract. Because the 4 years the park was closed, the state lost millions in parking revenue. So they automatically know if the park be open, they get money again.
Thank you.
So the bigger the park is, the more money they make. So whatever we want, we can get pretty easily. So it's earmarked.
He's really good at walking backwards.
So we're training for Disney, right? Training for Disney.
I've gotten really good at walking backwards.
Look out of the corner of your eye.
I drive a school bus, so
There you go.
I'm good at keeping track of stuff. We are getting stuff next year. The Enterprise, as you all know, we're riding our last rides ever tonight because what's getting its replacement will be next year. We're just waiting when he decides to make the official announcements. We're thinking he's waiting to we actually put season passes on sale, which is tentatively November.
Travis, you need to watch where you're going.
In the next couple of weeks, we should make the announcement.
I'm doing that later. I'll finally do 3-point challenge.
With what money? Oh, hey, oh.
Everyone do it!
Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh.
That's also the sound you make when you're on T3.
There are some remnants of Chang still here in the park. They're currently buried in that hill. Concrete, rebar, stuff like that was left when they took it out. We just kind of bulldozed it all over to one side and we put dirt over it. So that's what that burn is there. And some of the burn that runs along the back of the water park's got parts of Chang rebar and concrete in it, as well as the dirt from the new wave pool and Lazy River.
Yep.
That's where all that went. D3 did the operation on the next
Should.
I like that ride. Please say it's coming back.
Yeah.
California.
This area of the park, the back curve at the luge. Who remembers what ride was there?
Chaos.
Yeah. That's what the grass is in the middle of all the concrete. That's the pit where the Chaos's main support sat. Then we had a kiddie ride right here. Great Race, which that was his second home. His first home was over by Mile High Falls. So that ride got moved around twice in the park. Great Race, it was a kiddie car ride. We sat, there's 12 cars in a circle. It went around, the cars would swerve, you hit the counter steer that swerved and stayed within the white lines and you scored points. Whoever got the lowest score won that race. That feature worked for about 2 seasons. It was Tacoma.
Makes sense.
Tag, you're it. Pretty sure I gave the camera interesting. Oh, I love this song. One of my favorite movies.
No one cares.
Blue Hawaii, wonderful movie.
I know.
We currently can't, I was taking you all back to show the arena because there's some cool stuff back there. There's something else back there right now that we kind of keep under wraps for the moment.
Keep them distracted.
Who knows the significance of the rapid drive?
Penguin.
That's not what he asked.
It's open.
It's open. That too.
How old is it?
Old.
10 years. About 35%.
Older than that.
32 years old. It opened originally in 1980 at Opryland.
Yep.
Part of a ride called the Grizzly River Rampage. It was Grizzly River Rampage. The pumps, the conveyor belt system up out of the trough and through the station, that was from Grizzly River. So that when we built it, we didn't have the space for 12-person rafts. So we had to go with the 8-person raft, so it's a smaller trough. Those pumps are designed to pump water for a 12-person raft trough.
That explains
First time we
a
turned
lot.
it on, that water went around that first curve in kind of more tidal wave, and just created a wave and it flowed over and out. That's why when you go out, you can see that trough right beside it where it drains all that water back down into the pond. It drains 30,000 gallons a second out of the main trough back into the reservoir at the bottom to keep the water level right for the smaller rafts.
Wow.
So that's one of the significant things about that ride. It's unique. It's an old ride with new boats.
There's nothing wrong with age.
Age before beauty. More like age before beauty. I like mine.
If it works, keep it opening.
I used to live in near Doswell.
You know what's next year? Next year?
For here? Can't say.
You know. I'm just
Can't say.
You know.
He knows nothing.
Do you really think they would tell me anything?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He's just Travis. He's just Travis Coaster. He don't know nothing.
I don't know anything.
He don't know anything.
Actually, that's a lie. I know that Storm Chase is going to be even better next year.
Okay.
Because it's still going to be there and actually work.
Such a good movie.
It's a little hard.
Jason Voorhees is paging me.
Storm Chaser was a lot of work. It combines both sides of the original Twisted Twins. Mainly uses Lola's side, but there's sections that you actually cross into Stella, back to Lola, in the curves, so they can make the curves the way they are. Out of the Storm, originally it was going to go where Enterprise currently is, but weeks before we closed last year, we found out that we were keeping it. Those rides on that side were my ride group last year, so it's actually like, yeah, it's staying. Like, okay. So where's Out of the Storm going? It was actually going to go to the very end of the track. It was going to be closer to Storm Chaser, in angled treaty, more or less 90 degrees from what it is now. And then they decided he didn't want it that close to Storm Chaser, so it got moved further back. So it's where it's at. So that's actually its third home before it even opened. Wow. So that's one of the unique things about that. Thunder Run, its current form now was modified in '95. It took out a hill, the double up, and raised the bottom of the drop so we can walk underneath and get back to ride T2. That was also the area it went from being trailer trains to the single bench articulated trains, and then we got the new one this year. They took out the double up because it was tearing up the trailer hitch cars. It was just tearing the track up. I wish we kind of had it back. I'd like to put a tunnel on it, make that flat section something interesting. But we're gonna head this way.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Thunder Run's new train was brokered. It stormed the kingdom last year. It's when they really started pressing to put the new PTC on it.
Hurricane Bay guests. Give us just a moment to unite the Castaway Creek and Mount Sly High, and we will let you know when we anticipate the reopening of these attractions.
Now, so has anybody been over through this section yet? Yeah. So everybody realizes what we did this year.
I did.
The black chain link fence. We took down all the wood so that you could see through it. Opens up the area and so there's flow of air and everyone can see Thunder Run. Well, it's been that way forever. We joke about it. It's a shell of its former self. But
That should be 550.
It's all changed from what it originally was in '91. Yeah, I'll do it over here. Stop. Yeah.
Everybody here.
You see an Eric and Hayden.
This area is our Belgian village. What's remaining of it? There was 2 buildings here. Originally, when it was built in '91, there were bathrooms. Then it became a pizza restaurant. And then when the park was closed, this building became totally unusable because it got flooded, water too much damage, so it came down. So pizza went there. What is Little Shop of Screams has been candy shop, security, Bugs, breakfast with Bugs. Now it's Little Shop of Screams. The oldest. Yeah, there was an arcade in there actually. That was the arcade. Dutchman came from Kings Island. It opened in Kings Island in '73. So it is technically the oldest ride here in the park. It's older than the park. But that ride, we've replaced the shoes on it. It's easy enough to get all spare parts for it still, so we can keep it operational. It doesn't go as fast as it used to go. It's a little slower, so it doesn't spin out as far, but it's still a very popular ride here in the park. The carousel was built in '94. It's a combination of wood designs and Vekoma. It was the first one in the world to be ADA accessible. The elephant on it, the back of it swings out so you can load an individual in a wheelchair and they can ride the carousel in their chair.
Yep.
That is great.
And only an individual in a wheelchair can ride in that elephant.
Yay.
Kids, we kick out of it. Before we even started, we make them get out because you can't ride in there because you got to be in a wheelchair.
And you have to have 2 operators to bring the thing up and then
Yeah.
take the thing down.
It takes
I
2
know.
operators to do it.
I haven't trained on that ride.
I avoided that this year. Fire Chief, when we first got it, was on the other side by the cafe where Rowdy Racers is now. That's where Fire Chief started its home, and then they moved it over to there and they built the building around it to give it more of a themed atmosphere. Where the tornado sits is where our Quake ride was. For those that remember Quake.
Yep.
When I did the Mexico trip back in April, I got to ride the second version of Quake with this Waikiki Way Super Flip. So that was kind of cool to be able to ride something that sounded just like Quake. It's like, oh, memories. Quake left. For a while, it sat back in storage. And they finally all that stuff's finally out of the park. Rowdy Racers is over here now. It started out where Rio Grande is now, there was a hat shop in front of the front half. The hat shop had to come out, so they moved Rio. Speedway came out, sat in storage. The techs redid it, redid the cars, fixed it all. They decided to stick it over here, which is actually its third home. In the process of moving it, there's like 3 different places, and they finally ended up there.
No reason why, but
there's a process. They pick several different spots for something to go, and they think of flow patterns, traffic, and where it's going to fit.
I personally love rally racers. It's great.
We're going to head across the road to talk about some of the stuff on that side, then we're going to come back so we can end up at Storm Chaser for his 500th ride.
Yeah.
So we're going to go out and we're going to cross the road here. Give the traffic guards something to do.
We are happy to announce that Mixer Castaway Creek and Mount Longmont will open at 3 o'clock. Thank you for
This is Antonio.
Antonio!
Antonio was the operator on Rally Racers when I first rode it. That's my boy. What are you doing?
Actually, I'm on break. I'm gonna be over there.
Alright. I'm trying, thank you. I'm doing my $500 Storm Chaser today.
Nice. Yeah, nice. This was not a path until the crowds picked up last year. The only way across the road was along the road. Even when this was Six Flags, that was not across the road. But I mean, let's be real. Let's spend the money on this one.
Thank you. Everybody wave. Woo-hoo.
This needs not to be accessible. Yes. It was all good. Oh, really? Yeah.
I think it was at a certain
All right. Moment of silence for the Gen 1 Enterprise. Okay, we're done. I'm in the Skyline.
Everybody there?
Jason's the last one.
Jason the caboose?
I think Jason's the caboose, yes.
Okay.
Oh, you finally see y'all.
Who's ready for the Angry Birds takeover later?
No.
Come on. Angry Birds is great.
It's 5D / this building was the only roller coaster the park had.
No, but I think my battery, it turned it stopped.
Jetstar 400 called Star Chaser. Which, if you look at the front of the building, this first door, that was the actual entrance into the ride queue.
Wow.
It was the first door. If you open that door up now, you've got about a 4 foot drop. Yeah. Because the theater for 5D was built inside that building. So they built the building in the building. Which is more prominent if you go in the warehouse in the back. You can see that you can tell that they built a building inside the building.
Building within a building.
Inception.
That's one of our major storm shelters, is inside that room, because it is a building within the building. Star Chaser left in '94, moved to Darien Lake, and now it sits at Great Escape, where it sits. in a building.
Within a building, probably.
Not being used.
Yeah. It sucks.
That ride, I operated it in '89. It was a bear to operate. Because when they would come into the brake run at the end, you had to push them off the brakes. So the operator inside there was constantly pushing. A train car that's empty is 2,000 pounds.
Oh.
So when you add people to it,
Gains weight.
you gain weight. The Aqua Theater will have Sea Lion Splash again next year.
Yay!
The contract has already been signed. They will be back.
It's a great show.
It is the most popular show that's ever been at this park.
It's adorable.
Because that theater is filled every show, every day. We all know Kit Kat, we all know Stella and Pookie. The babies.
They're nuts.
You can see that the little ones are learning more. Every year they come back, they can do more tricks and they've learned more and their personalities are showing more.
And then the old one's like, I ain't working today.
There's days that Stella and Kit Kat will not perform. They just won't do it. They'll come out, they won't do anything, so they have to turn to the babies and let the babies play. The two girls won't do it. They have distinct personalities. The first year we had the sea lions, the first day they were in the park, one of them figured out how to open their cage backstage in their holding pen. She opened that one up, came out the door, down the stage, up the steps, all the way out here to the Esplanade, at the top of the steps, and was watching everybody walk around. Was looking at them. Then she came over to this side of the steps and was looking at everybody. By that time, they were able to get the trainers from on the other side of the park over to them to get her back behind stage. They had to change the locks, figure out new locking mechanisms that she couldn't get out of. So that was one of the cool things about the girls.
Two things. One, that's great publicity. And two, how would you call that in if you were a public service officer?
It was.
That's what I always think. How would you call that in?
The way that one came across the radio for the sea lion to be out. They didn't know what they were like. She's out. And guests were like, some of them were oblivious to her up there. Then someone started pointing her out, and they finally were able to get the attention of somebody to get it called in to come and get her.
Yeah.
Or they were afraid she was going to come down the steps into the crowd because she was looking for somebody.
Shake somebody's hand.
Because the sea lions coming here was the first time they'd ever been at one location longer than like 10 days. So they would do state fair. So they were 10 days they'd move. So for them to come here and spend 3 months, the girls have gotten used to it. They got used to the sounds. Everything around them, it doesn't faze them anymore. When they show up, they're like are ready to go. They know they're home. This is their summer home. It's how they treat it.
We love them here.
And they love them here. They're fantastic. Let's see.
Are we walking through games?
We're gonna go up through games.
Aha!
We're gonna scare my employees.
Yeah. Everyone give them the death stare.
Because they haven't seen, some of them haven't seen me in the white shirt. I wear the white shirt on days that we're there. Walk through there on docking.
Hi, Mom. Hey. It was so funny. We had only gotten to we hadn't even been in the park maybe 45 minutes, and I had already met my steps for the day, and I was like, yay, I can stuff my face at lunch.
Put in my mom.
Hopefully you don't mind me calling you Mom.
Oh no, I don't. I don't mind it at all. A lot of kids call me Mom.
It's kind of nice for me to have somebody to say that to, because there's a guy at church who isn't really that much younger than me that I call son, and he calls me Mom. So.
There was a building. Adele puts it down. There's 2 outbuildings in the game.
He knows everybody.
The way it is now, there was another extension of the building. We had 3 more games. This is all games. Bumper Cars originally was in there. When Mr. Hart opened the park up, Bumper Cars came out They put an arcade in there. Bumper cars went over where the teacups are. We'll get into that and get over there to how things played out with the reopening of the park.
Do this for a while, please. My arms hurt.
Has Adam seen it yet?
Yeah. Oh, there that's talking. There that's doing something.
Stop right here. Let them go.
They're bulldozing.
Yeah, something's coming down.
No,
Yeah, something's gone.
that's season pass building. That ain't coming down.
No. Yeah.
He's talking about something else. There's just walking up, you saw the Mr. Hart's over there, notebook in hand. That's something that we see every day.
Yep,
He's in the park, always walking.
Looking.
And if he's got somebody of upper management like Bill, which is the head of our construction and redevelopment, something's going to happen. The building's going to get painted, uplifted, facelifts, whatever. But him walking with a notebook, he's taking notes of what he wants changed or fixed. He's always looking at the overall picture of how the park looks from any given point. Sight lines is his big thing, being able to see things. That's why the fence came down to Thunder and chain link went up. Yep. You can see.
Not that many owners are that hands-on.
No, he is the most
out in the park
hands-on owner
always.
that I've seen in my entire life of anything.
The only thing I will really talk about what this area, the foundation is still there because it was 50 feet in the ground. From that point down 50 feet. So that's why it is still there. It was too costly to try to take it out. So it's there. Now it's, yeah. It's got a wood frame around it and then they parked all the strollers around it so that you couldn't get to it. But yeah, it's still there.
We're making you a celebrity. I was doing time lapses. I was going in circles.
Oh, cool.
You see your son going in like a going in a circle and people circling. Yeah, the drop towers I use about one. The gym rise is this. I don't even do it once a year. That's making it maybe.
Okay. I don't know.
When Mr. Hart opened the park in '90, we had a Vekoma boomerang. Boomerang sat pretty much right there. This is the only remaining foundation for the boomerang. It's still here. The entrance was right back there.